welcome to the Unpaved Part Talk. My name is Peter Wanzi, and I'm your host. The Unpaved Part Talk is a podcast about entrepreneurs of sub-Saharan African descent who are paving the path for themselves in the US in unconventional ways. Today, our episode is going to be amazing, guys. I want you to stick right close to the screen and stay to the end of this podcast because you're going to love every bit of it. We're going to be talking today about alumni connections in the diaspora. If you don't know how important it is to stay connected with your buddies with whom you went to high school, with whom you went to universities, back home in Africa, or wherever in the world, and you're somewhere else today, this is an opportunity for you to learn what are some of the advantages, the connections, the networking that can happen in alumni groups. And I'm excited today because I have two amazing guests, Mr. Rudolph Kwe, who is right here with me, and Mr. Richard. Welcome to the Unpaved Path show, guys. You guys look clean. You look amazing. You look amazing, Rich. I love that look, man. How you guys doing today? How did you find your way here? How's the go?
Well, thank you, Peter. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for hosting us this morning. Today is a great day. It's a beautiful day out there, and myself and Richard, we are Bureau Collections, and we're here today to talk about alumni connections in the diaspora. And it's a beautiful day, and we're ready to start the conversation.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It was a sweet drive coming over here. The weather is getting better, and we just want to come here, share some ideas, try to bring these connections, try to explain to people why we need alumni connections, and I think it's going to be a humbling experience.
Have you guys been on the podcast before?
My first time.
Oh, your first
My
time.
first time.
Oh, your first time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a chill thing. You can like have a drink. You can relax. You're just going to have a conversation and have fun. You entered the discussion here by saying you are Bureau Collections.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Bureau Collections. Bureau Call is Bishop Brogant College, Simosopo, one of the institutions, the Catholic institutions in the Diocese of Boya. It's a secondary school.
Where's that? In Cameroon or
that's
in Nigeria?
Simosopo in Cameroon.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went there, spent 7 years in Bishop Brogant. Yeah. So Richard too was in Bureau Call. Yeah.
And Richard, what was your experience in Bishop Brogant? What initially pushed you towards that direction? Was it a parental choice that sent you that direction, or you just like love the school as an institution?
Well, I must confess, growing up as a little boy, as a mass servant in a Roman Catholic church.
Oh, okay. So you're Roman
inspired.
Catholic. You're Roman Catholic. Sorry, that's a glitch.
I was inspired.
Uh-huh.
I watched Reverend Fathers do it, celebrated Mass, and I enjoyed it. I was aspiring to become a priest. So
Oh,
that
really?
pushed me.
Really? So, Bureau Corps is supposed to serve as a
minor seminary,
so you're both supposed to be priests.
technically.
I mean, like kind of. I mean, the
It's
purpose of
the beginning of a journey.
Okay, and then you eventually discern and
Eventually graduate from
Mhm.
one step to another, building up your spiritual life.
Okay.
So they start teaching you how to become a priest from when you are a little boy.
How long did you spend at the Bureau Corps?
4 years.
Or 4? Root of 7.
I made 7 years.
Gee, what was your most exciting experience?
So I think Bureau Corps was a great institution.
Mhm.
I think it's still a great institution. It's not just like any ordinary college, secondary school, like we have in the diocese or in Cameroon. It is unique because it's an institution that forms young men towards the priesthood.
Okay.
Which means from your youthful age, you're being prepared to embrace priestly values.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was a beautiful experience, and all the pillars of learning, the formation, everything was kind of unique, not like every other institution. So we're formed towards that purpose. My most exciting moment in Bureau Corps was when I had to engage in what they call physical formation.
Okay, what's that?
There's a tradition where those in Form 4 and lower seats, they always go up to the mountain, Mount Cameroon.
Okay.
So it's an experience that they do annually. It prepares a young man physically for the parishes, for trekking and all of that. So that was one of the most exciting experiences
so
for me.
it like preps you for a royal community kind of serving
Yeah,
orientation.
the priesthood is about service. The
Okay.
priesthood is about parishes. The
Mhm.
priesthood is about, so they start that formation from bureaucracy. They
Mhm.
prepare you academically, they prepare you spiritually, and they prepare you physically,
Okay.
humanly too, of course.
Okay.
Human formation, yeah.
And Richard, what was yours? Like what crazy thing did you do back in the days that you think about it today and you're like, oh, I remember those fun days.
Well, I think I have beautiful memories,
Mhm.
very beautiful ones. I do not have bad experiences, but I have stories that I'm going to tell you and you're going to laugh about it.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
So I got into college, I was about 13 years old.
Right.
My dad was pushing really hard because he enjoyed this journey.
Mhm.
He really wanted for me to do it. That was his goal. His was going to be his achievement. So my trunk was really, really heavy. And I watched my dad as a little boy. I couldn't lift it up.
Mhm.
We dropped off from a taxi going to my brother's house. We had to walk through a hill. And my dad carried up my trunk
On his head.
and he struggled through the. So, I mean, that kind of rings in my head all the time, gives you that responsibility.
Mhm.
Trying to show your kid a good example, trying to put them in the right path they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
So actually, I have that memory in my head and it never goes away. We get in there, coming to meet people you have never met before, sharing a room space or a bed, sharing food,
Mhm.
sitting on a table with people you have
Mhm.
never met before,
Mhm.
trying to create that connection. It
Mhm.
was a humbling experience.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
You know?
humbling. I can imagine.
Yeah, meeting teachers that were going to teach you all new things.
Mhm.
Meeting priests that were going to lead you spiritually.
Mhm.
Getting to meet the bishops.
Mhm.
Getting to go through pilgrimages. We went to pilgrimage from Bishop Rogan College in Small Support, passed through Sase and Toleti and navigated our way
Mhm.
through the hills, and then we found ourselves in Bojongo.
Wait, is that during experience? What you're narrating now looks like it looks like it's not a regular thing you do, you were supposed to do.
No.
Is that when you because I've heard experiences where people who are like in boarding colleges usually, like, I don't want to say break bounds, but they have this very funny ways of getting out of campus. Is that what you're narrating right now?
No. So we do have pilgrimage.
Okay,
So
period.
this pilgrimage actually prepares you spiritually.
Mhm.
It's actually a trekking process.
Okay.
Right? There's no food, nothing.
Okay.
We trek. While we're trekking, we're divided into small groups.
Mhm.
We recite the rosary, we pray
Okay.
through our way
Mhm.
until we get there.
Mhm.
When we get there to Bojongo, we are supposed to do mass services, a retreat,
Mhm.
moment of silence, go through confession. It's
Mhm.
just kind of preparing you spiritually. It builds you.
What
So it was part of the school program. It's not like people breaking bounds.
Oh, okay. As a young person, like being in 13, 14 years, does that actually mean anything for you? I mean, like having very intense spiritual activities, having a very intense I believe some experiences that at that time you maybe don't really understand what they signify. Maybe like going for pilgrimages and things like that. Do they at the time when you were doing those things, did you really understand them to be intrinsic values that you need to cultivate, or just something that like your teachers or your formators were just like putting on you for you to do at the time?
I think that created a strong path for me.
Okay.
As a 13-year-old boy, I think I could understand as an African
Mm-hmm.
what it means to build up a spiritual life gradually.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the man I am today, it was because of those humble beginnings.
Okay.
So it's actually a solid foundation for me.
Rudolph Kwe, I was going to begin this podcast with you here for you to give us a little bit more the intrinsic values that Bureau Call as a private institution has, that you think other institutions like government institutions don't actually kind of share, or public schools don't kind of share those kind of values that someone who goes to Bureau Call necessarily have. What are some of those?
Yeah, I think there's just so many of those values and so many benefits that we have.
Mhm.
And that is why you see that to send someone to a private institution in Cameroon is more expensive than a government institution.
Mhm.
First of all, we know the system of learning.
Mhm.
The smaller the class,
Mhm.
the candidates can assimilate the material. So we have that benefit that our institution had a smaller number. We're like 400 or so in the entire Form 1 to upper seat and prospectives. So it gives us the opportunity to be able to interact with our teachers, ask questions, and be able to follow, and for them to be able to follow us up on assignments and stuff like that. If you compare that to boarding schools, to government institutions, it's extremely difficult because you go to a government institution, you have 2,000 students.
Okay.
And it's difficult to follow up. That's our first benefit is the fact that we're able to assimilate the material, we're able to be followed up easily by our teachers. Then secondly, it's about the curriculum itself and what we go through. In the boarding school, it's like a family.
Okay.
We have a refectory, we eat.
Okay. So
together.
Was Richard like your senior?
Yeah. Richard was of me.
Okay.
By 2 years.
So that's like an added advantage, right? You can like interact now with like your senior guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So those benefits are there. The spiritually, like he said, we had these spiritual exercises that mold us, formed us to who we are today. We have the human formation, how to relate with one another, which is very important. So these things, they are values that, they're just so important in the society. So if we look at the formation we had, the education we had, and we compare it maybe to people in government institutions, we think that we are better placed. Yeah. So, but again, we are not saying that government institutions, those guys do not have values. We're not saying that, but we're saying that we're fortunate enough to live in an environment where we can easily, have all of these services, have all of these things implanted in us.
What do you miss the most in your high school days? What's the one thing you're going to say you miss the most right now?
Gari and soup.
What was that supposed to mean?
That was like the favorite meal on Fridays.
Oh, on Fridays.
Yes, we used to struggle in the refectory and fight. And then you have to wait for a senior student to dish around until maybe you come at the end of it, you have the little part of the portion. And it's crazy, man. It was fun though.
Gari and soup.
Yes, gari and soup.
I mean, maybe that was his favorite meal.
I just want to make people laugh.
Yeah, maybe that was his favorite meal. Personally, I did not like gari and soup. Yeah, personally, I did not. My favorite meal in Biroko was corn chaff.
Okay.
The corn and the beans mixed together, and for me that was a favorite. But the difficulty was when you're a younger student. You will probably not enjoy the corn chaff because the senior students was what we had on top of the corn chaff. They call mundoni, the oil.
Yeah, what's that? What? Oh, the oil.
The oil that the oil comes and settles on top.
So that's like the first grade of
the when I was a junior student, we had senior students when they get the pot, they pull the pot in front of them because the way we sit in the refectory, we start dishing from the senior students
to
the younger ones.
Okay.
So you find that the senior student just pulls the pot towards him. The first thing is he gets the spoon and drains all the oil on top of the pot and put it in his plate. So because the way they used to prepare it, of course they'll put that oil on top and the rest all is just the water. So when you find a student draining all of that and put it in his plate, did
that not create like some kind of frustrations, or you were just like as a junior student you're just waiting for your turn when you get to be a senior and then you do the same thing?
There's a lot of frustration. Let me tell you something. Each time I come home from maybe a term, after 3 months or 1 month from being in school, I will look so pale and my mom is wondering like, what is going on in that place? Are you eating at all?
Yeah. So that it's the senior students just getting the better part of it.
We couldn't wait.
Yeah.
What happens now when you get which is driving us now to the alumni thing as a whole? What's the relationship between the seniors and I want to say juniors and seniors in an alumni
organization?
Yeah, because when you meet, maybe say like a senior who back in the day used to treat you a little bit a little bit out of the norms. How do you relate with him today? Like, does it affect your relationships in any way?
So this is what I think. especially our chapter.
Okay.
Bureau Collections Minnesota chapter. We have a diverse chapter.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have a member who was in the first batch who went to Bureau in 1964.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We have a member with us in our chapter.
Oh, wow.
So we have a diverse, we have seniors, we have juniors. We have just few juniors. So majority of them are actually seniors.
Okay.
So now there are some people in our chapter, we did not meet them in Bureau Call. But again, one thing we learned was reciprocal respect.
Okay.
Right. Of course, when we're kids, you know, leadership and all of those things, they just end in school. But now we are all grown up as men.
Okay.
I don't think that you carry grievances of 10 years ago, of 12 years ago, and I'm seeing you get a point. And so what I want to say is, what we have, our relationship is very mutual.
Okay.
And reciprocal respect.
Which is a value prop, right? That you're going to want to admonish others who right now probably are not in alumni groups to kind of get in there, because someone can be right now and it's like, he's just thinking maybe of the horrible days some elder or some senior person put him in the group, and then he finds himself now out of that particular context, and he sees this same person and it's like, no, there's no way I'm going to join this group with this guy in there, remembering what he did to me back in the day. So
I bet there are people who still have that kind of feeling.
Okay.
But again, there's the encouragement for us to grow out of that and look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is the solidarity among the alumni.
Okay.
Because now we have a goal. We have a goal of coming together, enjoying those moments. You know, if you have a serious issue to discuss, like you want to go back to memory lane and like, hey, grandfather, you there with me, man. You guys will talk about it and share a drink and move on. Okay. So I feel like we are in a point where we have grown when we look at those moments, because myself, I was a labor prefect in Bureau Corps. Okay. There are younger ones that I flock. I went to Massachusetts last time and I saw some young guys and they were recounting their experience with me. I just had to smile. They're all men, right? You know, we're all grown now. So at this point, we are looking at the bigger picture, which is the solidarity among us.
Okay. Which is, Richard, talking about alumni connections, how did you find yourselves in this is the Minnesota chapter, right? You guys represent the Minnesota chapter.
Yes.
How did you find yourself, like, was there a group that was created sometime back and then you just came in and found yourself just converging towards it? Or you guys created the MN chapter?
Well, actually, we have members who have been here for a very long time.
Okay.
And they've been existing. They did have a convention in 2013, which is about 10 years ago. And that chapter has been strong a very long time ago. We have one of our big brothers, Raymond Fru, who was spearheading this chapter and making sure that it brings people together. So the chapter has been, Minnesota chapter has been there for that long, maybe a little even longer.
Okay. What are the key benefits now of belonging to an alumni connection or belonging to an alumni group?
So the first thing is we don't want to focus so much on the benefits per se. Like we talk about the solidarity. We talk about the memories. Okay. Because solidarity. Our first goal is to evaluate, assess the kind of education we had in Bureau Corps and look at the benefits, how it has helped us today in the world. Now we look at the younger ones back who are in Bureau Corps, because the college is still in existence. There are still people there who are in training. So we are coming together as an alumni to see how we can give back to our alma mater.
Okay.
Right. So we have various ways in which we give back. And Bureau Corps Minnesota chapter belongs to the larger one.
Which is?
There's the Bureau Collections USA, North America and Canada.
Okay.
And we have annual conventions.
Okay.
So this year we have the convention in Maryland in DMV.
Okay.
Which all the chapters, we have the Massachusetts chapter, we have the Maryland chapter, we have the Chicago chapter. So we're going to converge there. We have a national executive that is running the chapter. So we are working in line with the structure that have been set up by national. Yeah. So, but this year we decided as a chapter, this is my president, of course. Richard is my president.
Richard.
To focus more and see how we can develop our chapter, how we can bring in members, how we can invite other alumni who are in this state to join us, because we want to exhibit the kind of life, encourage each other. We know how tough America is.
Okay.
Yeah. So our whole focus is on the goal of solidarity, bringing members in, making sure that everybody belongs.
No, you can. Sorry,
Yeah.
I usually when I take my hand up this way, it looks like I'm trying to bring up a
Yeah, I
question
mean,
here.
you can go ahead and ask a question. I thought that maybe you wanted to.
So yeah, that's sorry for cutting your
If I
thought
want
with
to
that
add up
gesture.
to that, I believe in family.
Okay.
So I know that some people don't have families, but I encourage everyone to belong to a family.
Okay.
Family doesn't necessarily mean it has to be by blood.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school with people, I bring them, I treat them as family, right? So if you build this relationship as family, there's that bond, there's that connection. It gives me a responsibility of checking on you every day or almost every time I don't see you. I say, hey Peter, what's going on?
Okay.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you that responsibility of checking on others. To know whatever is going through with anybody. People are going through a lot. We're in a different country,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make ends meet, there's a lot of responsibilities, there's a lot of challenges. So we are trying to bring people together so we can work as a team, we can work as a family, we can grow together, we can share ideas. So I encourage everybody to join any alumni or any community that is strong. First of all, we grew up in a communal way.
Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah.
So I would literally woke up in the morning sometimes, just move to the next door neighbor. Maybe they're having breakfast, they'll offer me breakfast and I eat. We grew up that way. Some people didn't even have food to eat, but they did benefited from the neighbors who had to share. So when we come to America, why don't we keep that connection?
Okay.
So we're encouraging everybody, join your alumni. If you don't belong anywhere, join your friends who belong somewhere. Come closer. Let's build a formidable force. Let's build a family.
In a society like this where there is a fast acceleration towards chasing the dollars, put it that way, quote unquote. And the loan value prop that I'm getting from both you and from both Richard and Rudolph here is the strong family bond, solidarity bond that comes into play. How do you exchange that? That's not a monetary value thing that someone's going to get. And I believe most people here at times are oriented what they're most interested in is like, how does this thing going to benefit me financially?
Yeah.
Is there any backdoor where money comes into this, or is just guys coming and chilling together?
Let me answer that in a smart way.
Okay.
So when you belong to these communities, when I said we share ideas,
Okay, sure.
right? If I give you an idea and you use that idea and make money, what does it mean? It means it benefits you financially.
Sure.
Right? The community is fast growing into an IT world. People share those stuff. People say, hey, you can pick up this course and study. People encourage people. People even help people with money to go to school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because we have the ability to do that. We have people who own companies who can employ.
Oh.
We have people who have fashion designs. Like what I'm wearing now is from one of our members, Aye Adio Fashion.
Oh, the suit you're putting on?
Yes,
the suit you're both putting on?
Yeah, it comes from Ayeadio Fashion.
So you see?
Oh, that's clean. That's clean. I mean,
so-
the design is right on point.
Yeah,
The
this
suit.
is-
So, guys, if you want to check Ayeadio Fashion, go on his Instagram page, go on his website, check out he has amazing stuff. So, give it a try. I think my guests look clean. I mean, Ayeadio, I probably need a suit from you as well. So let's go. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
So you see, when you share experiences like that, Arnold has facilities that he can employ.
Which Arnold is that? I had one Arnold.
Arnold
Arnold Kube.
Yeah,
Oh, the same Arnold. I think one of my very first shows I did it with Arnold Kube, and he's an amazing guy. Arnold is fascinating in how stretchy his brain is as far as business ideas is concerned.
Yeah,
so having him, having him in a bureau called Exxon is, I think, it's a wonderful asset.
I tell you what, Arnold, I've known Arnold for over 23 years.
Oh, cool.
We started college the same day. He's my classmate.
Oh, really?
Arnold was my class prefect for 3 straight years.
What?
Yes,
No democracy in bureau call or what?
No, we just voted for this guy, and because he was good at his job.
Yes.
He will tell you, if you don't vote for me, I'll write your name on the
Oh, wow.
Arnold is a great guy.
Yeah, he's very persuasive.
I mean, seeing us grow together and then seeing where he is right now, I would say I'm honestly proud of him. And I call Arnold sometimes, go to his home, we sit and talk. I go to him for advice. I mean, that's the spirit. You got to bring that connection together. I won't sit back and say, okay, because um, I haven't been with Arnold for a very long time. I haven't seen him for a very long time. I will shy away and say, hey, I can't ask you for help.
Yeah, sure.
I go to him for advice. He comes to me either. Either ways it works. We all build that connection. We build that relationship.
That
And
is
it works for both ways. If I have someone who just walked into town and is looking for a job and wants that kind of job, I will refer him and say, hey, I have a friend, a brother who has these facilities. He can employ you.
Yeah, sure.
So if you meet the requirements, you're going to be employed. Guess what? I just helped a brother and I just helped another person. And I helped myself.
You did.
Yeah, so just to add to that, in as much as people expect that dollar in cash kind of stuff, like he explained, there are a lot of ways we can benefit. Like he said, it's important for you to belong to family.
Yeah, sure.
Because when you have a problem, you will see family will show up. And this bureau collections, even at the national level and at the chapters level, we show up for our own. We show up for our brothers. Whenever, if you're grieving, we are there with you. If you're celebrating, we are there with you all the way. So it is very important for you to belong. And we're encouraging everyone, every exon, every bureau collection out there, especially those who are in Minnesota, to join the race, because we need you. We need the family to expand. We need the family to grow. So apart from the financial benefit, there are so many things. This chapter, we have like almost 16 members. And inside these 16 members, we have almost 8 members who are entrepreneurs, business owners. They're employing people. They're supporting the community. So there's a lot of they're very resourceful. They're resourceful to new members. They're resourceful to people who need help, not just the exons, but at the general community. Yeah, so it's a wonderful family, I would say.
I mean, that's amazing what you guys have just said here, what you guys have laid out. So if you're still out there and you're wondering where your alumni group is and you're in the diaspora, try to find them, try to get in contact with them, try to join them. Because you not only bring back like memories you had back in the days when you were in high school or in college, but you can equally help your fasten your path like towards whatever thing you're trying to get, towards your journey. And that is the fundamental reason why I created this podcast, the On Paper Talk, because I was like, if you've been in the diaspora, people coming from all over the world, and some people have very, very rough rides when they get in here. They don't know who to get to. They don't know who to connect with. They don't know who to ask for help. They don't know how to even begin. And an alumni group is probably a very, very, very good place to start. And I'm trying to build this channel in such a way that it serves as a library where people can go on there and be like, this guy started a business this way. He's made these errors already. There's no need for me to make the same errors because he's already made them. I can fasten my path and just learn this thing at a faster rate instead of doing the same mistakes he did. Absolutely. For instance, if you come in here and it's taking you, let's say maybe 5 years to get into IT, you already know the tricks of how to get into IT, for instance. There's no need for me to come here today or get in the US today and still have to go through another 5 years before I get into IT. When I know there are people in the alumni group who are already in IT who can actually just help me cut that time into half, like, even cut it into, just give me like 3, 4, 5 months for me to get in there and you have all the resources that you have. So I really, 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 really do appreciate the all the value that you're bringing with this alumni connection that you're creating and pushing everyone there. If you want to be recalled and you're wherever in the world, find out where your other members are. Try to connect with them. There's this great philosopher who said, "Man is a social being," which means you intrinsically cannot live alone. You have to belong. You have to be with people. So try to find where your alumni are wherever they are in the world and try to connect with them because there's a lot of value that's going around. Coming back to you, to you have an event that's coming up sometime next week. What's the date?
Like 22nd. That's next week Saturday.
Okay,
Just
and
1 week from now.
a week from now.
Yeah. So.
And what's the focus? What's the goal of that meeting?
So the focus of we have a party, right? We have a Bureau Collections Minnesota chapter. We decided to sit together as members, look at the failures of the past, what happened, that the chapter went a little bit dormant. So we're trying to revive the chapter. So we wanted to do that by organizing a party, then resensitizing the community of the existence of Bishop Brogan Bureau Collections Minnesota chapter.
Okay.
So because of course there are a lot of people who do not know that what's Bureau Call. You know, people like, oh, those guys were supposed to be priests. Those guys were supposed to and stuff.
Oh, sorry, but I have to just ask this question. I'm so sorry for interrupting you. There's one thing they used to say, like, Bishop Brogan is a single-sex school, right?
Yeah, it's all new.
Yeah, they used to say, like, those who go to single-sex school are socially misfit.
Yeah.
What has that been your experience, Richard?
Hell no. See, let me tell you something. I mean, I have a friend who says he describes me as a lifeyan.
Lifeyan?
I don't know what that means, but I enjoy myself. I know how to enjoy.
That is the same statement.
When we post,
Aaron said when I had a podcast with him, he said he likes to enjoy himself. I'm like, what is this thing with Bureau Collins that like want to enjoy themselves?
We know how to socialize. We know how to enjoy ourselves. We know how to bring people together. That's just us. It's a gift. It's from birth. Bureaucratians are special that way. That's why we say God bless bureaucratians everywhere. Because when we get there, we don't live the same. Anywhere we go, it's another show. We create an impact. So when we made flyers, Rudolph made flyers for this party coming up, some comments were, what is a woman? Because it's a picture of a man and a woman standing and holding.
Yeah, I was wondering myself, like, what's going on with this guy?
What is a woman doing in the midst of priests?
Before I cut you again, Richard, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you on this one. I was like inviting a friend to the party, and she told me she's not interested. I was like, why? She said these guys are going to go there and they're going to be praying. I'm like, really? No.
Yeah,
because that's what she said. That's going to be boring. Like,
that's a misconception. That's a misconception of what Bureau Call. Yes, Bureau Call is a minor seminary, but I would tell you, without any fear of contradiction, that if you were to go into the archives of Bureau Call and see that Bureau Calls admitted 6,000 students or more, I don't think out of the 6,000 you have up to 1,500 who are priests. So unfortunately, the purpose of the school is not always achieved by a lot of people go there, and when they grow, get to opposite, they change, their views change. They want to become medical doctors. They want to do something else. Of course, you cannot force someone to becoming a priest. When someone, maybe you go in with that, piousness, and when you're young, like he said, when he was a master, he used to say how the priest will. So there are various things that will pull you to want to be a priest. But of course, we should not forget that the purpose of Bureau Call is to train young people to
the priesthood. Yeah, sure.
But again, at a certain level, each person discovers himself.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a discernment, right?
It's a discernment process. This is what I want to do for my life. This is what's good for me. But now, these people think that since it's for priests, then we don't have a social life. We don't know how to enjoy.
Yeah, that's
you get it.
I've heard that a lot.
How do we get kids? How do we get this?
That was the question I was going to ask, because it looks like you guys have. I was talking with someone again, and the person said, like bureaucrats are like back in the day were like the finest guys in Boya,
in college institutions.
I don't know if that's.
I mean, look at Rudolph.
No. Look at Rudolph. Look at it. Look at Richard too.
So we're just telling guys there that the party is going to be full of amazing guys.
I give you 100% my word.
Yeah, sure.
This party is going to be talk of the town for a very long time.
Let's go.
So this is going to be lit.
Yeah, this is what I think. Back then, guys from other schools like St. Joseph College, Sase, Sobans.
Yeah, sure.
Those guys are very loud. And they are also very.
I'm going to get a song. I'm going to get them. Yeah, on this. So, I'm going to find them on this.
Yeah, Sobans are always.
And I'm going to bring out this line that you just made. So I want to get the point on.
Yeah. So when we're back there in Bureau Call, when we go out for Catholic school day,
sure.
Because there was always a weekend within the year that all the Catholic students come together, they play games, they do singing and all of that. The guys always used to tag us as being afraid of women.
Yeah.
But growing up, I realized that it was a wrong misconception because it was just about bureaucrat guys knowing how to compact themselves.
Okay.
Right?
They
In
carry
front of,
themselves
it's not
with
like they
some-
were afraid of women,
Yeah, sure.
but they understood, even the younger, why young, as how no matter how young they were, that they were not driven towards that direction.
Okay.
So whatever feelings you have, you had to, just manning up and try to be as much as how do I put it? Prudent. I'll use the word prudent, right? As possible. Unlike the other colleges, they were just free, like, go out there and stop a girl, or you're in the university. So Bureaucrat has this whole different kind of molding that makes you into a unique personality.
How does that translate into your university days? Like when you get there and then now you have all this influx of people of the opposite sex that
at the university level, you open up. Like you open up. Richard was there. They used to have Burger King parties, and they used to shake the whole molecule.
Oh, so this is one of those. Is this the same experience we're going to be getting this April 22nd?
You are
We
definitely
organized parties. We rented buses. About 4 or 5 of those.
These are guys who went to the same night, right?
We gave people a good time. Other associations, we have Asobeg, Sobans.
Yeah, sure.
They joined our parties. We took people to Douala, gave them drinks. They paid for their tickets and we gave them a good time. So it has never stopped. Bureaucrats have always been who they are.
Sure.
We're always going to be who we are. So nothing has changed. When you don't follow that path to priesthood and you realize that it wasn't your calling, it don't mean you have to stay holy. And salvation is actually the word. You know the path to salvation.
Yeah,
you know what you're supposed to do. You can remain a Christian and live a Christian life. Go to church, teach your kids the Catholic dogma and the path they're supposed to follow if they choose to. And then the social part of it, we got to make friends. We got to socialize. You go to work, you make friends. You go to soccer fields, you make friends. You go to watch games, you go to the movies, you make friends. It's about communication. We have that ability to do it like any other person. So it's not going to be about women not being in the party. There's going to be a lot of beautiful women.
Oh yeah.
Just to add to that, so that people don't think that these guys are, it's all about priesthood. Even if you go to Bureaucrat anthem, the Bishop Rogan anthem, there is the stanza that will tell you that they are forming priests and good Christians.
Okay.
Yeah. So the most important thing is being a good Christian.
Okay.
So once you leave Bureaucrat and
a good Christian is a good priest.
A good Christian is a good priest.
Sure.
But again, the whole thing of being a good Christian is more important than just being because first of all, you have to be a good Christian before you be a good priest.
Yeah, sure.
You cannot be
a good priest when you are not
a good Christian. So, but most importantly, if you cannot be a priest, at least you come out and be a good Christian. That's what is expected. So once the administrators, the founders of the college, once they see that the product they send out to the world exhibit this kind of character, they are proud that these are people we formed and trained.
How often do you organize events like this?
I would say we could do that once a year.
Okay, once a year.
Yeah.
Just so we don't.
When was the last time you had this?
Actually, like I was saying at the beginning, we're trying to do some kind of relaunching, and that is why we want to bring it out there. We want to let people know that Bureau Collections Minnesota chapter is in existence. Those who are Bureau Collections who do not know, they should join the train. The train is already moving. Then the entire community too. In Minnesota, we have a big Cameroon community. Yeah. And there are different groups. There are cultural groups. There are other alumni that are functioning. Sabesa, Sobans, you see them put on flyers and parties.
Cigarettes.
And cigarettes.
What's cigarette?
Sika Baptist College, Limbe.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's all girls school.
That looks,
I know you like
looks like your close neighbors. Like you guys should invite them to the party so I can have some
of course
some other guys join
you're gonna
us.
have a lot of them.
Okay.
They're gonna be joining us for the party. So that was the purpose. Now we as a chapter, we have our monthly meetings. Like every last Sunday of the month, we come together. We sit to say, brother, how are you? How are things going?
Yeah, sure.
You share difficulties, challenges. How is it? We encourage people to come with families. We sit. Now we're getting to summer. We're going to do this more often. We're going to make barbecues. The president has programs that he'll put out to the group, and we're going to keep the group functioning. Yeah. So, and we also have the national convention coming up in Maryland in June. So there's a lot going on that we have to do to grow as a community.
Is it easy for you to manage differences in the group since you have one orientation, or you had that kind of same background together? Is it easy for you to manage differences in the group so you stay focused all the time?
Personally, I have personal relationship with each and every member.
Okay.
I call them and discuss personal issues.
Mhm.
So it's actually easy for me to manage any differences. I talk to people and they listen.
Okay, that's an additional.
I think we have
asset, right?
we have a very mature group.
Okay.
We have a very mature group, and
I mean, these are people who have kids.
Yeah, we have a very mature group.
Parents.
Parents,
Yeah, so
okay.
they're parents. So it's a group that.
Although we have a young member who is about 15 years old.
He
speaks maturely.
Yeah, he speaks maturely.
Oh, 15 years old.
Yeah, the father is an exan. He's also an exan. So he went to Bureau Call.
Finished or just part of it?
He couldn't finish because he had to come to America.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that with the maturity we have in the group, it's easy for us to navigate challenges and conflicts and all of that. There's not so much of conflict because we are focused on the goal. And the goal is, solidarity, Bureau Call. As a matter of fact, we are looking at the possibility of, working with National to support renovating areas in the college that needs help. So I love that the association is doing. Yeah.
Are there any pleasant surprises we should be expecting during this event?
Not really. You just come in there and have some fun.
Oh, no pleasant surprises. That's just
there's no pleasant surprise without you being there. We need you there. Anything you are expecting, you're going to see there.
Okay, so no brief, no spoiler alert coming from you guys. I just have to be there to see what's
One
going
thing
on.
we want to tell you is you don't have to miss this party.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to miss it because everything's gonna be in there, and it's gonna be a party that you shake off the snow on your body. It's probably the first party in town.
Yeah, after
all the snow and all of this.
Yeah.
So we are inviting everyone to come up and shake off the snow and prepare ourselves to get into summer.
Do you have the possibility of? I know this sounds a little bit odd, but do you have the possibility of extending the alumni networking? Not that people be part of it inside the. Of course, you cannot have that same experience as those who went to Bishop Rogan.
Our doors are open to people who do not go to Bureau Call.
Yeah,
we
that's
call
what I'm
them friends of Bureau Call and well wishers.
Okay, yeah.
So we have our constitution that we're going to draft that is going to give allowance to people like that to partake in the membership of the association. But again, they're going to have certain limitations because they do not have the same experience that we had. So we are open to receiving members who want to join us who do not go to Bureau Call. We call them those well wishers and friends of Bureau Call.
Oh, okay. I think that's
because we're going to be having projects in Bureau Call that we will have to carry out that we will probably have to seek financial support. So all those who love Bureau Call, then again, there are people in the US who probably have children that they're molding up to or who are looking at the priesthood. The minor seminary is open. Get to us. We'll give you directives on how to get into the institution, how to meet the rector, it's a boarding school, very beautiful, nice location. And I show you a lot has changed. Maybe some of the things we experienced were, made us not to like the school.
Now there's like VR.
More has happened. A lot has happened. There's transformation. There are different, things that are brought in that I feel like the younger people who are there now, they have those things. So, and we too, as an alumni, we are making sure, working hard to make sure that these younger ones, they have some of the things that we do not have. That's why, as an association, as a chapter, the president will be, coming out with his plan of work and what he intends to do.
That's interesting. What did you guys not have that you think? I mean, you guys probably didn't have all the AI experience we're experiencing right now. But what are some of the things you guys didn't have that you think those right now in the college should be experiencing?
The thing is, when you meet any boarding school child, the first thing that they will complain about is the food.
Oh,
Sometimes it's the food.
Richard just said that he was doing Gary and soup.
Yeah, people
on Fridays.
So on Friday.
I don't think that's...
Yeah,
is that a real problem?
For some people, it's the food. For some people, it's the accommodation. Maybe the dormitories and all of that. Like now, we have seen pictures of how the dormitories look, and to us they are not appealing. We don't feel like it's a place where our children should be sleeping. So the national is definitely doing something. Birocall, Lexans, home-based chapter Yaoundé, they're doing something. So it's a collective effort, and we're inviting alumni to join so that we can achieve this goal, because it is an institution that is run by the diocese. But of course, the diocese cannot do this. Alumni has to play its own role. We have to play our own role to see how we can support the diocese to make sure that the children we send to Birocall, they also want to become priests, they have the best environment to study in.
Do you have the possibility today, Richard, if you could, will you send your child back to go to Bishop Rogan? I mean, it's not an imperative question here. I'm just like wondering if you had that opportunity today, will you send back your kid there, right? Even with what he's saying that is lacking there.
Would the child want to be a priest? That's the first question.
No, minus that. I mean, like with the, I feel like the experience there is different. Even with the food and with the dormitory as it is, as you're explaining, the experience there is still unique the way it is. So I don't think much is going to change like over. Or are you guys planning on having dormitories have VR kind of screens there where children just kind of not chill and relax and eat a hamburger?
But actually, now we're in America. Having kids in America is actually difficult to take a child back to Cameroon.
Will you recommend it?
I will. I have an adopted son. He's in Cameroon. He's going to go to Bishop Rogan College.
Okay, in Bishop Rogan College. But if you're in the US, you preferably not. You probably want to bring the child into the alumni connection from you. It's going to stream like kind of from you, but you not send the kid back there.
The idea is about the concept that is going to build in that child's experience or in that child's mind.
Yeah, sure.
So when we have these meetings, I bring my daughter. He brings his daughters.
Okay,
right?
I mean, these are ladies. They didn't go to Bishop Rogan.
They didn't go, but they see that their parents have a connection.
Yeah,
so
sure.
they kind of
I understand what you're saying.
That there's power in building a community. Yeah. So our goal is to build community, irrespective of whether you went to a seminary in America or you went to school in America. If you have that sense of responsibility that you're supposed to come together and encourage each other, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I asked this question on purpose because it's not like those who are here now are going to feel like they're missing something, maybe not sending their kids back in Bishop Rogan, because they can still have that same experience here from the kind of life you're living here and the kind of values you want to translate back into them.
The ones in America will learn what we experienced. Okay. The ones who are in Cameroon will still learn those experiences. That's why I said I have an adopted son who's in Cameroon and he's going to go to Bishop Rogan College.
So I think I have two daughters, and I tell the oldest one, we just turned 3, that you're already a candidate for Our Lady of Lords College Mankong. Right? That is what I tell her. You're already a candidate. You're going to go to your secondary school. You're going to go to boarding school in Cameroon. Why do I take this part? It's because I appreciate the values that were implanted. Of course, America has its own culture and values. But personally, my wife and I, we feel like we want our kids, at least they can go there, have this secondary school experience, come to the US and do college. So they can, we will help them a lot and mold them to be better persons.
Okay.
So if I had a son and he gets one, like he loves it, it's an encouragement. You have to encourage them. You have to mold them towards that direction.
Okay.
If he expresses a desire, of course, they will go. But at the point where we are, where we have to make those choices for them, knowing what is good for them, I think I will choose to send my child to a boarding institution.
Which is going to be
I appreciate the values that I learned from them.
Yeah, which is going to be to learn more of the values.
To learn of the values and our culture.
Yeah.
Because when we give birth to these kids in America, they grow up in a whole different environment. And you cannot really, most often we cry and do all of this, but we cannot be where they grew up. Now we need to also take them back home and let them get a bit. When you come here with that mixed education, you stand in a better place to succeed.
Okay.
Not just excelling academically, but morally and academically and all of that.
Yeah,
it's also very important.
You have a both views or both worlds, and then you can assimilate yourself better and
you can
make
assimilate
better
yourself.
choices.
Yeah.
I mean, like, thank you guys for taking out time. I really do appreciate your time here, coming to chat with all that, with my guests and I, and with my viewers. Put it that way. Sorry for that. About the importance of alumni connections in the diaspora. You've all heard what the Richard and Rudolph had to say here about the importance of actually belonging to groups in the diaspora. If you are still out there and you're wondering why you should belong to any of these groups, you might not be a bureaucratian. You might be whatever thing. You went to whatever college. You went to. Doesn't need to be private college. It doesn't necessarily need to be just a government college. It could be an assimilation of both. Find your members if you're living out of your home country, because they can help you accelerate your learning process, integration process wherever you are, and they can actually help you in paving a path to your own success. I was your guest, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned.